This is Seasons of Discontent with your hosts Rick Snyder and Matt Combs on the Hogstye Network.
Welcome to Seasons of Discontent, Season 6, Episode 7, brought by Rick Snyder's Warston on social media. And I'm Rick Snyder.
Did you forget your name for a minute? I'm Matt.
And we're back discussing all things Warston sports and life as part of the Mighty Hogstye Network on audio and YouTube on video. And I did almost forget my name. It happens.
To be fair, we haven't done this in a while.
Yeah, so
I'll give you a break.
Okay, Washington Commanders did their first tour of free agency and basically waved goodbye to more people than they said hello to. And I think the only guy they really signed was Andrew Norwell, the guard, who replaces two guards that left. And I did a poll on my Rick Snyder's Washington page on YouTube, and I said, how do you feel about it? Haters. More than 60% said they were okay with the free agency. I was really surprised. I mean, maybe we claim Wentz as part of that process. And sort of, but in the end of the day, I think they're not quite as good a team as they were.
I'm okay with the low budget spending. I mean, obviously that's kind of been their MO the last couple of years. I know last year was a little out of the ordinary when they signed Fitzpatrick and Samuel and William Jackson and with like the first 1 or 2 days of free agency. But at the end of the day, Rick, what I think it's going to do is they're going to have enough money left over after free agency and after the draft that they're going to go to Terry and hand him a contract. The market has been set for Terry now. Obviously, it's not going to go as high as Devontae to the Raiders, but it should, it should be in the probably 20 to 22 million a year range. And I think that's kind of what they're looking at. I think that a lot of their moves this offseason are going to be through the draft. I still say they go wide receiver 1 with 11. I've changed my mind on that a couple times, but I'm back to wide receiver at 11. I think they add tight end in the draft, and then I think that they're probably going to go linebacker, corner, safety in the draft, along with offensive linemen as well. So, but then again, they're also, this is kind of what they do. These guys that'll take these 1 or 2 year deals to come here, kind of prove it deals, your Bobby McCain deal. I mean, look, he just got rewarded with a 2-year contract. Your JD McKissick's, he just got rewarded with a new contract. And by the way, screw Buffalo. So I think that's kind of what they're at right now is they're just going to get these guys in 1 and 2 year deals to plug holes, and they're going to try and continue to build through the draft. But then again, Rick, I don't know who's going to compete with that NFC West out there, the AFC West with the, but the NFC is wide open. I mean, why not get younger, build through the draft and see if maybe in 1 or 2 years you're something. I don't know. But then again, does Rivera have those 2 years?
Yeah. One thing people forget about cap space is you need about $5 million for the rookie pool, and you need at least $5 million for the in-season emergency pool, which I know they went past last year. Mm-hmm. So you can't just use all your cap space now. The one thing that's really surprised me the last 6 months has been the social media urging of Terry's got to get paid. To a frantic point of nothing else people talk about at times is, Terry's got to get paid. And I thought, well, maybe it's because he's, there's one true superstar on this team. I guess you could call him a superstar, at least a star. Mm-hmm. Chase Young is here, but bad second year. I'm not going to put him in that class yet. And maybe people just don't want to lose the one really good player this team has. At the end of the day, it's up to Terry to want to stay because he'll get paid wherever.
Oh, yeah.
But if you can clear some cap space now and sign him to a long-term deal, great. It helps you next year to find the next guy. It's
kind of like what they did last year with John Allen. They signed John Allen in like July, to that extension. But I mean, Terry means a lot to this franchise. I mean, look at the jersey reveal. The 3 people on the poster are Terry, John Allen, and Chase Young. And I know they added Carson Wentz after the trade, but yeah, I mean, Terry's been the focal point of this offense, both on and off the field. I think that's what they're kind of hoping to do is to hold on to Terry long term. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's up to Terry. I know he likes it here, from what everybody said. And he is, it may be that Washington microscope that we always seem to put these guys under, where they're massive stars to the fans of the team, but once they get outside the NFL, maybe they're just a regular star. Maybe it might be us just elevating him more, but at the end of the day, I mean, who's the only one on this offense besides JD McKissic making plays? It's Terry.
Yeah, that's true. All right. So for all you fans at FedEx, this Bud's not for you. Budweiser announces they're not dropping a corporate sponsorship with the team. I'm sure over this whole, sexual allegations. I don't know when Bud started, but they had the huge billboard sign in the end zone back at RFK. So you're talking 30 years right there. I don't know after that, but I never remember when they didn't have that Bud sign up. And the team said, we're exploring the beer market, whatever. I mean, they're going to sell $14 beers, no matter if it's Miller Lite or some craft beer.
Oh, yeah. They're going to Miller Coors. I mean, let's be honest. Miller Coors will take them with open arms because Bud Light is the official beer of the NFL. But if you can offer so you're going to get some Bud Light money through the NFL, you're still going to get that. And then they're going to capitalize on their $14 Miller Coors beers. So you're going to get your Miller Lights, your Coors Lights, and stuff like that. Plus, Rick, the thing is, a lot of these beers, too, are under those Miller Coors and Anheuser-Busch umbrellas. There's other options besides just the big three. But, I'm sure it has something to do with the sexual allegations. They're probably the first major one to fall. I know that the, that local hospital dropped them. And then I believe there was one more, but this is the first big shoe to drop. I know, of course they were threatened by FedEx and Nike and all them when they wouldn't change it from Redskins. Well, that's over and done with because they changed the name, but yeah, whatever. I don't drink Bud Light. I prefer Miller Lite anyway. So there you go. Yeah. Plus, hey, I'll be honest with you. I'm not paying to go sit in that stadium, so I don't care what they serve.
I mean, the local hospital deal, I understand, was worth somewhere in the neighborhood of $500,000 a year. And then but the Budweiser one's a more direct, thing because they're buying the beer at the stadium. I'm sure people are going to be drinking in the parking lot as usual. So not like you're going to go thirsty, and buy a $6 bottle of water or whatever water is now.
But I did think about this too, so every year Bud Light puts out the team can. I wonder if you'll be able to get a Washington Commanders Bud Light can in the store.
Yeah, that'd be like an outlaw brand or something. That'd be interesting to see. Mm-hmm. Maybe we can get one of those nice hard seltzers that people like to drink now, a strawberry one or something.
Oh, God, those things are so gross.
People, millennials kill me with this beer drinking weird crap. I mean, come on. So maybe Bob's mattress discount place where at furniture discounter he has a brew in the back too. He'll have one. I don't know. I just like the team's snarky reply. We're exploring the beer market.
So real quick before we switch topics, I want to go back to the free agency. What are your thoughts on Norwell? Because they got him for a lot less money than they would have with Sheriff. Obviously, we saw what Sheriff got with the Jaguars. This is a guard that actually set the market for getting paid a couple years ago when he left Carolina to go to Jacksonville. Now, obviously, he went to Jacksonville and kind of went down the pecking order a little bit, but I guess everybody does that when they go to Jacksonville. I mean, is he going to be a sustainable hole? And then what position do you play him at?
Well, he'll be a left guard.
Okay.
Making $5 million a year, which is $5 million less than Flowers, probably a little better than Flowers. So there's a win-win, a little bit better player and a lot less money. You can plug him in left side. They'll keep Schweitzer on the right at this point there. And the line's okay. And Norwell's a decent guard. So, it's really, Leno has had a good left tackle year. Now you've got a decent left guard too, but Flowers did fine. Rouillet is okay. I think
he's got to stay healthy. He's got to stay healthy.
I mean, he went through 4 centers last year. They re-signed one of the backups too. Schweitzer did okay as the right guard when Sheriff was hurt. And I guess Sam Cosmi will be back healthy. So overall, it shouldn't be a bad line. And I don't think he's Norwell as a whole, but that I think they figured out they could get Norwell and said, okay, let's swap them out. Mm-hmm. So I don't blame them on that. So
I think the biggest gaffe in free agency so far that I've seen by the team is not trying to re-sign Settle, because, you know, obviously by all accounts, they're moving on from Deron Payne at the end of the season. Who's going to fill that position? And, you know, Settle, that was a draft pick of yours. I would have liked to hang on to him, especially for what Buffalo is paying him. I mean, we could easily afford that, but I'm not Jack Del Rio, so whatever.
Well, they had a couple rookies last year they liked, like Casey Toohill.
Mm-hmm.
I like them that much. But that's the thing in the NFL. Sometimes you have to just go younger and cheaper in the overall cap. And they did have to do that with Wentz. But Wentz taking $28 million, you had to make some hard decisions. And you have to lose people like Ioannidis and Settle because you can't afford it.
Yeah, but I tell you, Rick, look at these quarterback contracts. You know, these top guys are getting big money. We saw Aaron Rodgers get $50 million. Deshaun Watson's going to get $48 million guaranteed a year or something like that. I mean, his deal is $230 million fully guaranteed. You know, I'm sure Derek Carr is going to get a big extension now that they've brought in weapons for him. Russ is going to be looking for an extension in Denver. You know, you have to pay quarterbacks now, and you know, we're not in the market of the lower tier guys like the Fitzes and the Heinekes anymore. We've moved up to the kind of the mediocre tier with the Carson Wentzes. So, I mean, you got to pay the guy.
The great part of the Wentz deal is it actually goes down the next 2 years. So if he proves himself to worth to stay, he goes from 28 to 20 and then 18. So they actually would catch a break there if he's worth it. And if he's not, they lose no cap space next year if they cut him. So it's a real proven deal. I do like that.
We got to get you one of them gold jackets.
I thought he was working for Century 21 like I used to, you know?
I thought he was trying to do an Ocho Cinco bit and claim that he's going to the Hall of Fame.
It always looked like a hot dog with ketchup and mustard, you know, between the shirt and that. I mean, at least when Dion came, Dion had an all burgundy suit, and it looked, you know, of course, Dion, he looked cool.
Oh yeah, I mean, Dion's always been fly. Come on now.
Or Carson with the red hair and the red shirt, and you got like a mustard jacket, and you know, he said, "Oh, I had this from college." I'm like, "Dude, you've been playing for like 5 years. You haven't bought a new jacket." Yeah. I mean, it was just. I didn't think it was terrible. It was just that's what people were talking about the first press conference. Yeah, Carson Wentz here. Did you see that jacket? What kind of man?
I did kind of like, you know, he pretty much, you know, took all the blame for the way the Colts season ended. So I do kind of like that. And, you know, I'm not buying into this. He's not a locker room presence or a locker room leader or anything like that, because I've seen numerous Colts come out and say, why did we trade this guy? Why did you get rid of Carson Wentz? But I don't know. He's going to have to prove it on the field. That's where it all matters. You know, this locker room has leadership that they, you know, he maybe if he needs to, he can fly under the radar.
I smell a troublesome owner in Irsay, who I knew his old man. I know the son. I don't like either of them. I don't think either of them are very good at what they do. So maybe the Colts just had a bad owner, cost them some here. You know, that's fine with me.
I have fun with Baker Mayfield and all of his pouting and antics.
Yeah. That'll go over great. Well, they had Phillip Rivers there for a time, and he's not an easy person.
That's either. True. That's true.
You know? And they all had Peyton Manning going all shucks all the time. So
I know.
Best of luck to that. So before we get out of here, just say rest in peace to my buddy John Clayton. Passed away. A lot of you know him. He was literally the hardest working man I ever met, and I'm going to miss him a lot.
Still one of the funniest commercials in ESPN history.
Yeah, if you knew John, you'd really be amazed by it. All right, I'm Rick Snyder.
I'm Matt.
See you soon.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Seasons of Discontent on the Hogstye Network.